What is up, internet, and welcome to another video. Today we are starting Draft League. Now, this is a different Draft League because the rule set is Battle of Legends. Now, what that means is that you can actually, as you can see on screen, you can actually use the legendaries and mythicals in Pokemon Sword and Shield. Obviously, you can only use one, so we did the draft last night. It took about 6 hours because people were being annoying. But yeah. So I ended up drafting Zamazenta as my legendary. Obviously, the first overall pick was Zacian. And the rules were if you pick Zacian, you can't pick like the other form. And if you pick one form of Necrozma, you can't pick the other forms. But all Urshifu forms were game. And so the way it worked was you actually had, this is my roster, as you can see. You had one legend, one mythical / mythical, one Gmax, one S tier, two A tiers, two B tiers, two C tiers, two D tiers, and two F tiers. So the way it actually worked was you have your legend and your mythical, and then you have the way the tiers were organized is top 50 from Pikalytics for Series 5, I believe. So the S tier is top 50, then the next 50, then the next 50, then the next 50, and then the next 50, and whatever is left is in F tier. So we are the Perilandia Politoads because when I would play mobile games and stuff, and you had to name your town or place or whatever, I don't know, I would just always name it Perilandia, and I thought that actually sounded hilarious. And it also starts with P, so obviously Politoad is my boy, my mascot, so I gotta rep him on the team name. So let's just go through my draft and see what we got. So first up we got Zamazenta. Obviously I could use the crown form, which has much better stats than the regular form. 145 defenses, 128 speed, 130 attack, 92 HP, and 80 special attack. As you can see here, Zacian and Zamazenta, little known fact, actually in their regular forms have the same stats. So this is what Zacian's stats look like also. Attack stays the same, but I get a buff in 30 in both defenses, and I actually get lower speed by 10. So you get 50 more base stat total points, but you get 10 less speed and 30 into each defense stat. Obviously, we can run Behemoth Bash, right? It gets close combat, crunch, play rough. We got Iron Hand, but you probably always want to run Behemoth Bash. Ice Fang, Fire Fang, Psychic Fangs is really good. Quick Attack is pretty meme, but you could run it. I might run that. Obviously, it's Draft League, so you have a lot more flexibility in what you can run. Tail Slap is very interesting. I could maybe run like a regular Zamazenta with King's Rock. Learns Wild Charge, which is actually very good coverage. The only thing is Zamazenta cannot Dynamax, so it is vulnerable to Fake Out. I'm probably going to always run Protect on it. It actually also gets Helping Hand, which is really nice. I could run a support Zamazenta. This draft league is probably going to be where everybody's bringing their legend every single game, and they're basically building around it. So I did get different Pokemon that can do other things to build around it, but Zamazenta is probably going to be more of a support-oriented Pokemon, even though it can do stuff by itself. Also learns Iron Defense, so I could just be super bulky on the physical side. Maybe like Iron Defense, and then also learns Thunder Fang. That's actually really nice. Snarl is also a move. Usually not used for damage, but yeah. And then obviously with its ability, I always get a raised. My defense is always raised by one stage when I enter in battle. Next up, I chose Coalassol Gmax. Well, the order was I actually chose Whimsicott next because Whimsicott is probably the most versatile Pokemon in the format, other than maybe like Dragapult and Togekiss. But yeah, so I wanted Prankstermon. Obviously, it runs Tailwind, Prankster Tailwind, Taunt, Charm, Switcheroo, Stun Spore, Cotton Guard, Dazzling Gleam, Moonblast, Energy Ball, Giga Drain, Knockoff. I could even run Light Screen, Memento. I can run it all. Like I don't even know what to say about Whimsicott. It's just so good. Substitute even. U-turn. I don't know why I'd run U-turn. Attract. No, I don't want to attract. Beat up. Beat up is very good, as you'll see. I have a Virizion, so that's very good. Switcheroo, because you could do the Switcheroo eject button with like quick attack on Zamazenta or something like that, to bait their Dynamax and then get them kicked out so they waste their Dynamax turn 1. Fake Tears for the special attackers, and actually learns Grassy Glide. That's very interesting. Helping Hand, obviously. Yeah, Sunny Day could also be useful. And Worry Seed if I want to take away their abilities. Next up, we got Gmax Coalassol. Gmax Coalassol obviously has Weakness Policy Steam Engine strats. I could run Flame Body or Flash Fire, depending on what I want to do. But I could run it in Trick Room because it's got 30 base speed. I could run it regular because I have Steam Engine. Meteor Beam, Scorching Sands, Heat Wave, and Solar Beam are the attacking moves I'm going to use. I'm going to probably change them up based on the matchup, but I could also probably go Ancient Power or maybe Earth Power. But Scorching Sands is probably better because I get that 30% chance to burn. Yeah, I could go Scald. That's actually very interesting that it does get a... I didn't know it gets a water move. But yeah. Could also go Burn Up just to get rid of my fire typing, so I'm not super weak to everything. Hyper Beam is also interesting for... but I'm probably going to always want to run a ground move because most of the legendaries are actually steel type. So ground and fire moves are very, very good against them. Obviously being super effective. Next I chose Politoed. Obviously I had to choose my boy. Okay, very bulky, 90 HP, 75 defense, 100 special defense with the Drizzle ability, puts up the rain. I was going to get Barrascuda as a swift swimmer. He also learned Surf, by the way, but I chose it too late, and then I chose Runerigus and then Slowking, and then by the time I realized I forgot about Barrascuda, somebody else chose it, and it was gone. So yeah. Obviously learns Helping Hand, Icy Wind, Parasong, Belly Drum. Also I could run an offensive Politoed. He's not bad with 70 base speed. And then I have my later Pokemon are actually very, very supportive. So I could actually maybe run a Belly Drum. Yeah, Power Punch. What else we got? Psychic, Earth Power, Scald, Surf. I could run Choice Scarf. I don't know. And then if I don't want to put up the rain, I could obviously run Water Absorb because Damp is not that good. Next up, we got Virizion. Virizion was kind of a sleeper pick because it was in, it was not in S tier. It was actually in A tier. But the other two Swords of Justice were in S tier. So you're only allowed one S tier pick and 2 A tiers. So I chose Virizion as my A tier, as one of them. Obviously gets a justified ability, so I can utilize beat up strategies with that. 4 times weak to flying, which is not so good, so I might run Koba Berry depending on the matchup. Very specially defensive. 129, 108 base speed. Obviously, all the Swords of Justice are like that, and it actually outspeeds a lot of the legendaries, like Reshiram, Kyurem, Solgaleo, Lunala. The only thing it really doesn't outspeed is, I don't think anybody picked up Mewtwo. Eternatus, Zacian, and Zamazenta, obviously. But yeah, Bounce, Sacred Sword, Close Combat, Leaf Blade. Also good to have a Grass type because of Amoonguss and Sleep Powders and stuff like that. Quick Attack, because I saw people choosing Tangela and Tangrowth. Also gets Brick Break for screens, that might be useful. Could run a special, but it's probably not worth it because of the justified ability, though it would throw people for a loop, so that could be interesting. Mega Horn is also a very good move for lowering special attack. Stone Edge, X-Scissors and Headbutt, Aerial Ace, False Swipe, Giga Impact. Grassy Glide could also be interesting. Set up my grassy terrain and then Grassy Glide get the KOs. Smart Strike for that steal. That's actually very interesting. I learned Smart Strike. I could utilize that, yeah, to up my defense because his defense is not so good with base 72. Next up we got Kangaskhan. Now Kangaskhan I liked because I knew I needed a Fake Out Mon, and Kangaskhan with base 90 speed is actually really good. It's pretty bulky, HP 100, defense 80 and 80. So actually pretty bulky, and I can even hit ghost types with Fake Out, so that's really, really nice. Also, I learned that it learns beat up. We could also go with just Fake Out Last Resort strat. Basically, the way Last Resort works is you can only use it unless you've used all your known moves. So if you use all of the other 3 moves, then you can use Last Resort. It's 140 base power, 100% accurate. So usually people would run Fake Out and Last Resort. So you Fake Out turn 1, and then you could just spam Last Resort. And with Scrappy, you can even hit Ghost types. And with the Silk Scarf, it's going to do a lot of damage. You can also run Double Edge, but it has 33% recoil, so that's annoying. Sucker Punch is also good. Brick Break, Circle Throw to get out annoying Pokemon. Counter, Crunch, Curse. Could run like a Earthquake. It's base 90 speed, so it's not going to be outspeeding. I think Reshiram and Kyurem are like base 97, I think. Fire Punch, it's got normal type syndrome, so it's got all that elemental coverage. Ice Punch, Iron Tail, Low Kick, Outrage, Power Up Punch, which is used on Mega Kangaskhan a lot. Well, probably not going to use it here. Rock Slide is nice. Shadow Claw, Substitute, Thunder Punch, right? Aerial Ace. Yeah, we got some nice moves. But I might use it as a beat up mon. Helping Hand is also nice. Icy Wind, pretty fast. Swagger, Tail Whip, Terrain Pulse, yeah, that's pretty much it for Kangaskhan. Mainly got it because I needed a Fake Out mon. Yeah, next up we got Haxorus. Haxorus I chose instead of Barraskewda because I needed something fast that learned Surf, and with Haxorus' base 97, it speed ties with Kyurem White, I think, and Kyurem Black. They're both 97, I believe. With the Choice Scarf, I can obviously outspeed everything and then just spam Surf with Coalassol. So that's really nice. Obviously gets Mold Breaker, which is a great ability. Might run Unnerved if I don't need Mold Breaker, just because I don't want them eating berries, so that's nice. Earthquake for Mold Breaker, so hit them the Rotoms or the Rotom forms or anything with Levitate. Taunt, Snarl, gets great moves like Close Combat, Brick Break, Dragon Claw, Dragon Dance, Facade. First Impression, also really good for that priority. Could use that with the eject button if I needed to. So there's that. And what else we got here? Swords Dance, X Scissor, Aerial Ace. It's got very good coverage and it's pretty fast. Also, I didn't have a dragon, so I think it was the best. It was for the best that I didn't get Barraskewda, because then I would be stacked with water types. Next, I actually chose Manectric, and the reason why I chose Manectric was I forgot that only its Mega gets Intimidate, but I saw in one of Aaron Cybertron's videos that somebody used Choice Scarf Manectric with Flamethrower to activate Steam Engine, because Steam Engine can be activated by fire or water moves. So water is super effective on Coalassol, so it activates a weakness policy also. But if you use Flamethrower, it's 4 times resisted, and it still activates the Steam Engine. So I could activate the Steam Engine in that way also. For my water types, I also have Lightning Rod, which is really nice. And I was going to get Kling Klang, so I could have used the minus ability, but then somebody picked it up, so I didn't get it. Flamethrower, Rising Voltage, get Switcheroo, so I could give somebody a Choice Scarf and like cripple them. Snarl is also really nice. I could also use something like Discharge with a ground type pairing. Light Screen, Overheat is also pretty nice, but I'll probably run Flamethrower instead. Quick Attack, obviously. Thunder Wave if I want. Volt Switch to get out of bad situations. Charge Beam is funny. In Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, I actually ran Zapdos with Charge Beam, and I would just spam it and get raises in special attack. That was fun. What else we got? Yeah, just all around good mon. Base 105 speed, which is actually really good. 105 special attack, and 70 HP, 60. Not very good defensively, but pretty good offensively. I was kind of scared that my team wasn't very bulky. So that's why I got Haxorus. That's why I chose Haxorus, because it's kind of bulky. Dragon, being its only type, is actually really good. Only weak to Dragon, Ice, and Fairy. So I have some pretty good coverage with that. Next up, I actually got Dugtrio. Arena Trap is a really good ability, which makes them not able to switch. So if they lead like Zacian in turn 1, I can just high horsepower them and KO them, because Zacian is pretty weak to ground and fire type moves. So there's that. High horsepower also gets Earthquake. Ally Switch is really annoying. Memento, Sucker Punch, Double Edge, Facade, Night Slash, Rock Slide for flinches, Shadow Claw. Could also run Stealth Rock. I don't know, if they have like a Charizard, maybe I'll run Stealth Rock. That would be very funny. Beat Up, also another possibility. So because Dugtrio is actually base 120, so it is naturally faster than Virizion. So if they don't have something super fast on their team, like their legendary is only base 90 something, then I could actually lead Dugtrio Virizion and prevent them from switching out and KO stuff with Virizion. So that's really, really nice. Base 100 attack is pretty nice. I think it OHKOs Zacian with max attack adamant. I'm not exactly sure. Probably run Focus Sash. I don't know. A lot of the Pokemon on my team actually want a Focus Sash, so it's kind of annoying. But yeah. Good thing about Zamazenta is that pretty much always want to run Rusted Shield. So there's that. Next up, we got Runerigus. Now, at this point, I had a lot of fast mons, but I need some slow ones. So I went with Runerigus because it has a giant defense stat. Also, there weren't a lot of good D tier picks, so I decided on Runerigus. Also, what's nice about Runerigus is I can actually swap abilities with Pokemon. So let's say I hit Zacian, get its Intrepid Sword, then it activates and I get a +1 attack on Runerigus. So that's really nice. Obviously gets Trick Room, Body Press for that 145 base defense. Iron Defense could actually be very interesting. Gets Ally Switch also. Curse. It's mainly a physical attacker, so probably want to run some physical moves. Like it gets Earthquake. I don't think it gets High Horsepower. It gets Rock Slide, Substitute, Taunt, Will-O-Wisp. So I could set up Trick Room and then Will-O-Wisp, Zen Headbutt, Amnesia to raise my special defense. That might be interesting. Brutal Swing, Bulldoze, Fake Tears, yeah, Phantom Force, Thief, yeah. What's nice about Runerigus is that you don't need the Eviolite for it, obviously, so you can run like White Herb to prevent Taunt, so that's nice. Next up, we got Slowbro. Now, Slowbro and Runerigus both have base 30 speed, so I'm going to have to mess with their speed stats a little bit so that I know who's going first, because that's very, very important. But the good thing is that this draft league is going to be taking place on Showdown, so it's very easy to edit the stats and everything, because otherwise it'd be very, very complicated. Now, Slowking is very specially bulky, base 110, 95 HP, which is really good, and 80 defense is not bad at all. 100 base special attack, which is really nice. Oblivious actually makes it so that I can't be taunted. Also immune to Intimidate, but that doesn't really matter. But I'll probably be running Regenerator most of the time. Gets Trick Room, obviously. Scald is a very nice move. Expanding Force is good if I set up the Psychic Terrain. Belly Drum is also an option, even though it's only base 75 attack. I could Belly Drum up and then set up Trick Room. Like I could lead Slowbro, Runerigus, and Belly Drum up, so they won't know who's going for Trick Room. I could go for Trick Room on both mods, and that would be very interesting. Iron Defense, Iron Tail, Light Screen, Liquidation, Nasty Plot. Also, Power Gem, great Rock type move. I wish Coalassol got it. That would be interesting. I might run Ancient Power instead of Meteor Beam, depending on the matchup. Razor Shell, Reflect. I could go double screens. Rest, Seismic Toss, Shadow Ball, Slack Off is actually a great move for stalling. But yeah, depending on the matchup, we'll see what we need to do. Then we actually got our last tier F picks. Now by this time, obviously, nobody was thinking of drafting Togepi or Fungus. So I saw Fungus on K-Cray's team in the WBE, and I actually thought it was a very good idea because I needed some more support for my Sweeper Mons. So I also wanted a Sporemon, and Shinotic was taken. I would have drafted Shinotic probably, but it was taken. So I drafted Fungus, and people were like, whoa, Fungus? What? Don't underestimate Fungus, because it's got 15 base speed. So if I set up Trick Room, this thing is going to be the fastest on the field, okay? Regenerator, obviously, is probably the best thing. Spore, Rage Powder, Palm Puff, Protect is probably the only moves I'm going to run on this thing. Pretty much always going to run max HP, but obviously I'll do a bunch of calcs to try and live stuff. Next up, we got Togepi, obviously. Probably always going to be running Serene Grace. I don't know why I would run other stuff. Eviolite is the item of choice. Might be running Focus Sash with Fungus or Eviolite, depending on the matchup, if I need the Focus Sash for a different mon. Follow Me is why it's here. I saw Moxie Boosted using this in the WB, and it actually put in some work. But It's very scary because a lot of the, as I said, a lot of the legendary Pokemon have steel type moves, so super effective against Togepi. Helping Hand, Ancient Power is probably the only move I'm gonna run on this if I run an attacking move. Serene Grace to get that 20% chance to raise all my stats by 1, and Protect for juking them out. But yeah, that is my draft for the Perilandia Politoads. I hope you enjoyed this video. Keep an eye out for some Draft League content, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.